I don't know how it felt exactly, but there were more positives than negatives than previous months, and I'm getting back to a place where I feel consistent in my job and in my hobbies, in my body, and so I really just want to keep that up. I know there's going to be things happening, but I would really like to maintain the confident, consistent feeling I have right now. Oh my gosh. Good morning friend. Welcome back to my channel. I am currently getting ready for the day. It is Sunday, May 4th. Happy May. 9 10. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Quindle Jones, but you can call me Quinn. I am an applied mathematician that is studying medicine through mathematics, and for fun I create lifestyle vlogs all about how I am staying authentic. I say in my bonnet, I stay authentic while elevating and transforming throughout life. So I talk a lot about systems, productivity, healthy habits, womanhood, general life lessons. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you should definitely subscribe. Check out the community. I feel like I've really been enjoying the last couple of videos I've recorded. You've seen the study vlog before this, and you'll see the week in my life after. But the gist is that it's like I'm feeling better, but also things keep happening. Like the more time goes on, I feel like I do feel stronger. Like dealing with hard shit and, you know, still being alive does make you feel like a stronger person. So I feel that way about life right now. So that's really impacting my goals going forward and also my priorities. Like, I don't know, I'm feeling a real strong sense of self right now, and I'm leaning into that. The week of my life is kind of all about gratitude, and I recorded that right before this, but you'll see this first because reset order. But I'm feeling good. So welcome to the May reset vlog. I do monthly plan with me's where I reset for the month. I did January, which is the New Year video. I did February, I did March. April's was within my Q2 reset. Now we're in May. It's gonna be May. Oh, so crazy. I said my whole intro with my bonnet on. I totally could have taken it off, but too late now. Before we get into it and before I finish my routine, I did both sides. I wanted to give you my table of contents for today. I do everything 10 times. I have a list here. Okay, so I want to refresh for you and for me my Q2 goals, And then we're going to flip through my April bullet journal, which won't be much to show. And then we'll do, as usual, my habit analysis, where I take a quantitative approach towards personal growth, where I really evaluate what I've been doing through my feelings and through my actions. And then we'll have my fitness review, and that will include like calories, expenditure, sleep, like analyzing my fitness. And then we'll have the yearly goals check-in, where we get to Notion, where I love Notion, y'all, I'm so obsessed. My yearly goals, where I have a full page and a breakdown of everything I'm trying to do, show you what I've updated, I've changed some dates and stuff. And then we'll get into the May reset towards the end, where we'll talk about my goals for this month. I've already filled in my calendar to-do list. I filled in my postdoc hub, the videos I'm going to film, my content calendar, and then we'll get through the bullet journal. I actually don't have much in my bullet journal ready to show, but I've high-key been using Notion more than my journal. Like, I set up the first pages of my journal, and then I've been using Notion. But I enjoy the physical aspect of having printed pictures. Yo, I started watching The Walking Dead again after years, and all I could think about in the first episode was like, wait, so when the world ends and technology is not available, will I have all these photos I have of my loved ones if I don't print them out? Like, someday the phones won't charge. Do you have those photos? That's all I can think about. So then I'm like, by the end of this year, every photo I fucking have, I need to have printed out in some kind of photo album, okay? Grad school, all the photos, one album. Family, all, like, every fucking thing I have, I need to print it out by the end of this year, okay? But I'm going to finish doing this, and then we'll get into the day. Good morning, Dr. Jones. Good morning, Dr. Jones. Higher possibilities are being sent to me right now. Blessings are flowing to me right now, and I allow myself to receive new abundance. When I prioritize my joy, success follows. When I prioritize my peace, abundance follows. My future is brighter and more magical than I could ever even imagine. And I imagine a lot. So I love how the universe takes care of everything for me. And I love how my magic is currently unfolding. It's always been this easy. I love how my life is always positively upshifting. And I am so thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, me. Okay. Bitches with y'all bitch ass and I be cheap. First, I ain't got time to get no lick back. Soon as shit ain't adding up, I'm subtracting. I don't like it when the math ain't mathing. Niggas really don't have money, they be acting. He was used to fucking with an average. Give me no one in my life. I gotta get some Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Just know when you see me, I'ma put that shit on. I'd have to play the whole song. Sorry. I want to say, before we really get into it, I need to go ahead and do my newest habit for Sunday that I'm implementing this week, and I accepted my mom. So that's my accountability partner. I am going to do some meal prep. She doesn't like meal prep, she doesn't like leftovers, and I generally don't either. But I do want to like prep in a real sense and in a like pre-prep sense, because we'll get into it. But I just really would like to do better about my fiber intake and about my protein intake. And so I am trying to create ways to make grabbing healthier things easier, and also to just make sure that I am using my groceries. So what I'm going to do is my Sunday meal prep is going to be, and hopefully, honestly, like, I'm the kind of person, I'd be fine with doing this exactly every single week, but I'm sure I could like switch it up and make different things. But for now, it is chopping the vegetables I bought, making a chicken cheese bake, something I used to love. During the pandemic, I used to make it all the time. This was pre-vlogging, and I loved it. And it's relatively easy to make, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make a strawberry salad. I really liked Wendy's summer salad, and one of my friends put me onto it, and so I want to recreate it for myself to have to grab. And then I want to roast some sweet potatoes to have on the go, because like cooking meat by itself doesn't take super long. But it's like, oh, I don't have any veggies ready, I don't have any. But if my sweet potatoes are already cooked and my veggies are already chopped, it's also just as quick. So that's my idea. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get into like talking about April and stuff. But because if I do that first, I may never get to this. So I'm going to do that first, okay? And I'm also going to put on a show instead of music. I'm going to finish this song, and then I'm going to watch Patreon. I love Patreon. I love reaction videos and what are they called? Video essays. Anyway, so I'm going to finish this song and watch TV. So I might just speed through me doing this, but let's go. So I'm really trying to get back into doing healthy habits in my eating, as we'll discuss later in the video, going through my calorie tracking, that the fiber and the protein and the carbs are not always at the percentages that I would like them to be. So my go-to vegetables are definitely bell pepper, onion, and broccoli are some of my favorites. And then I also use cucumber a lot when I am doing my salmon sushi type meals. I also am getting back into using zucchini, and I also bought a yellow and a red onion to use this time because of the different recipes. Y'all know that I write my grocery list off of my recipes, so I only bought things I knew I needed. And then I'm also trying to kind of pre-prep for some meals, so making a salad base, chopping up fruit for the salad, making sure that I go ahead and roast some of my sweet potatoes, just so that my things are easy to grab. As I get more and more serious about finishing all of this work, I need things I can take to work with me, things that won't be heavy or too big, and also that fit my macros. And by doing this at one time, I save so much time during the week, and I have healthier options on the go. I'm trying to get out of my snacking habit. Me and candy go together real bad, and so I'm hoping that by having the healthy veggies on hand, having the pre-cooked things, and I bought a shit ton of fruit, that maybe I'll do even better this month than I did last month, but we'll go over that later in the video. Okay, I finished with my meal prep for now. My sweet potatoes are in the oven, and I guess I'm not done because I'm missing an ingredient that I'm gonna have to go buy to make my cheese bake, and then I'll be done with my meal prep. But for now, let's go ahead and get into a quick bullet journal flip through for April, and then we'll go through the rest of my April review in full. So starting with my Q2 page, so this is my Q2 page. I'm currently tracking my daily column, my reading, my water, and my productivity for this quarter to get people more accountable in building these habits. I really want to get back on, I want by June to have every single day filled in for all of these. For my daily column, I missed it for about half the month, and I completed half the month. For my reading pages, I read 6 days out of the whole month. But I got halfway through the book, or at least over 100 pages, so that's okay. And then for my productivity, I've had max productivity days. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days was a max productivity. So here's hoping we have more in the next month. And of my April milestones, I did post 4 videos. I did post a paid Substack reset, and I can't click off my paper, but we'll talk about that in just a second. We have the April cover page. We have the April calendar. Of the goals I listed at the bottom, I completed my 10K step challenge, my YouTube videos, that paid Substack. I'm still working on my paper, and I still am working on my passport. When we look at my habit tracker and my task dump, we'll talk about the grade specifically in a moment, but you can see very clearly that I did meet my step goal most of the month. And then as far as sleep, there were quite a few days above my ideal 7, but there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So only 7 out of the month where I did not get 7 hours of sleep. So much better than the previous month. And I do think my mood and my sleep seem relatively aligned. I do see a delay on some of these, but I find that intriguing. And then on my task dump, I completed all of my YouTube responsibilities, a lot of the stuff I wanted to do for my aspergillosis paper, and we hit that snag that we're going to talk about with my second draft. And then I am still working on, like I said, my passport and things. Then I have a breakdown week to week, and I didn't actually come back and revisit this to write on it, but I did look to make sure I was getting things done. And then that is all for April. I did like create a spread in between here, but then it turned out bad, so I glued them together or taped them together. So this is kind of 2 pages. And then I am ready to do my April review, but I have not completed it yet. And that's my full check-in for my bullet journal. Okay, so I wanted to talk more in depth about my April goals. I actually did already post this on my Substack, but I posted that so anyone who wanted ahead of the time information could watch the reset, since this isn't coming out until the middle of the month. But I've already gone through this in written form, so I'll have my phone to reference. So as far as my April goals, my first one was to complete my math modeling methodology draft, and the goal with that was I had been assigned these revisions back in February. My niece died in February. and March were incredibly hard as far as grieving, and then April was the first month where I felt like I was ready to try for real. And so that's what I was starting to do. But then I found a paper that was very close to my topic. Like, the idea we were trying to posit that seemed entirely novel had actually already been argued for 8 years ago. And so I read that paper and I was like, oh no, does this mean we can't do it now? So I did a whole presentation, like I made a presentation studying that paper, breaking it down, and then I took the revisions I was told plus what the paper already talked about and figured out a new direction. And then I presented that to my primary advisors, and they were like, great find, great job. And we don't have to scrap the paper entirely, but we do need to it's a different scope now. It's more directly about application than trying to posit the idea. So like, now that he's already argued, the other author, I don't have to make the argument. I can just implement what has already been like established. So yay for me, and that we have this finding. They said, my PI said, this makes our argument stronger. So, you know, I'm all for that, but also that means that I haven't actually written the revisions. I haven't completed the task of new draft done. I've thought it through, but I haven't actually written it yet, so can't click off that one. And then my second goal was to complete the 10K step challenge, and I did complete it for April. I got 29 out of 30 days. The one day I did not get it was in my previous vlog, or 2 vlogs ago, when I went to see Sinners that day. I had a lot of sitting down, so I only got nearly 9,000 instead of 10, but every other day in the month I got 10, and it's the most, or the best I've slept in 2 months, also walking that much. So I actually decided to extend the challenge to May. So we are now on day 4, of the 10K step challenge of May. And at this point, I think I'm just going to make it a quarter two. I'm not telling myself that out loud for real, so I don't feel overwhelmed. But April's done. I'm going to do it for May, and then I'm probably going to do it for June. just to keep the accountability going. But yes, completed the 10K step challenge. At some point, maybe in quarter three, well, quarter three is when we start 75 fine. So we'll talk about it. My next goal was to post 4 YouTube videos. And so, I mean, technically, the last video I posted was on Friday, so it was technically May, but it was in the last week of April. So I'm going to count it and say, yes, I did post 4 videos in April. I posted, let's see, A Productive Day in the Life, which was a 7 of 10 according to metrics. And people watched on average 12 minutes of that video. And then I posted my spring reset, which did really well. It turned out to be a 1 of 10 according to my metrics. It got over 900 views and the average view duration was over 13 minutes. And then I posted my weekly non-negotiables, my weekly reset routine. That one performed the worst of these, but people watched the most of it with the highest average view duration of above 13 minutes. And then I just posted only 3 days ago my most recent video, and that was a weekend vlog of me giving updates on my life. And I have according to that, people have watched the most so far out of all of these. It has over 19 minutes average view duration, a 7 of 10 for ranking by views. So I'm honestly personally very happy. I'm always recording a video when I post one, so these are just nervous to me. I'm not like waiting for it to be a certain thing. But I'm happy to see that my best performing one was my reset, the weekly vlog. The weekly vlogs have always done well, so I think I'll take that observation and store it. I also really enjoy doing weekly vlogs, and I just did one. You'll see that next week. So I'm at that goal of posting on YouTube consistently. I'm so happy that I'm staying consistent on YouTube. It makes me happy. And then another goal was to post at least 1 paid offering on Substack. And I think I mentioned this in a few other videos, but essentially my concept for how I am monetizing my life is primarily through access, because a lot of what I do is, believe it or not, confidential as an academic. Like, I can't just straight up show you the equations I'm working on so you can steal them. You know what I'm saying? I can't just straight up show you data that has been collected that's private. I can't show you a lot of the times other people's work because it is unpublished. And so there's a lot that just can't be shared, and therefore I'm a bit lenient to give exact to-dos and exact whatever. And that's also why there's a delay in my life where you see it a couple weeks later. So I've been trying to figure out a way, like, okay, maybe I can share those things somehow, because it's not that I'm unwilling. It's totally just about time and privacy. And so I'm going to offer it through a paywall. So if you want to know what I'm working on, if you want to know what I've read, if you want to know my calorie information, if you want like all those details, then you can become a paid subscriber to my Substack. And so I posted my monthly reset already, but halfway through of the essay, half of the rest of the like confidential information is behind the paywall, and the stuff I'm saying right now is free. So that's going to be my approach going forward, but I also want to do it monthly and weekly so that I can share my to-dos, my priorities, but only for those that's trying to see it for real. So I did post 1 for the May reset, and I am proud of that, and I'm hoping to do maybe at least 2 this month, and then maybe every week in June, build myself up to getting consistent with that habit of the paid offering. So we'll see. Or maybe it'll be every just 2. I haven't decided how frequently I want to share it, because I don't want to like bother people, but also, is that bad? I don't know. And then my last goal was to apply for my passport, which I did not do. I did not realize it had so many steps, and I need a birth certificate and and I'm from Mississippi. I don't live here. My birth certificate is in Mississippi, so I've had to order one, and once I get that, then I can go back to campus with my printed out form and my ID and pay the $200 I have to pay to get it, so that I can go to the conference this summer. There is a international conference that I have been sponsored to go on. Sponsored meaning that it's fully funded by my lab and by the travel grant I got. And so I'm very excited about it, but I won't be able to go. I don't have a passport. So as soon as I have my birth certificate in hand, we're getting that, but it hasn't been done yet. So it's technically a May goal. Yeah. And those were all of my April goals. Yeah. So now we can get into my habit analysis of April. Like, how did I actually perform as far as what I wanted to do with my body, those 7 habits I track every single month. Let me go check on my potatoes because I didn't have to put on a timer. Okay, since we're over here, I'm just gonna sit in this chair and let's go over my April habit analysis. I'm not actually, am I? Okay. I have it both in here and on my phone. So I am a mathematician by trade. My bachelor's is in mathematics and my Ph.D. is in systems modeling and analysis, so applied mathematics. So I think and see the world through a lot of mathematical perspectives. I take a quantitative approach to personal growth because I find such clarity and objectivity in numbers. As a Virgo, I love it, but also I care just as much about feelings. So while I always give the numbers and the data about my life, I also evaluate how I feel about my life. I think both are important because if you know how you feel, but you don't really know how you're doing, you might be lying. And if you only look at yourself in numbers and not evaluate how you feel, you might be missing nuance and beauty that you otherwise wouldn't see. So to me, it's about both. And that's what I just love about this approach in this section of my monthly resets, just really going into detail about what I did and not just saying what it was. Because personally, I am always so curious when I hear other people review their goals and they're like, oh, I think I did this. I always wonder, like, how much? Like, how well did you do it? Like, that's just what I am thinking as a mathematician, and so I love that I can say it about my life. So let's get into it. My April analysis, the way I do this, the way I have these numbers is I log these habits daily. I have an Excel sheet, I have an app, and I have my bullet journal. And then those daily trackings turn into my weekly review, my Q's weekly review that I post every single week on my YouTube channel and my Instagram. I should post it on my Substack, but eventually I remember. And then those weekly reviews turn into these monthly reviews. And so these monthly grades turn into quarterly grades, which then turn into yearly grades. So I did a whole video evaluating 2024 as a whole, and I'm very excited to completely document 2025 and compare it to last year, Ph.D. year after. What do they look like? Very curious. So looking at my April weekly report cards, we can see a trend of behavior week to week. So first week of April, oh, let me pull them up actually. Okay, first week of April, I had a C at 74%, and that seems to be from mostly missing my sleep and my morning routine impacted me the most, but that was the week that we had our first event at my job where I spoke on a panel, and it was awesome. So love that. The second week I maintained my C. My percentage went down 4%, and I did better about sleep, but I did worse on my protein goal and still not much of doing my morning routine. The third week I had a C again, so a consistent level. 3 C's that's consistent, it's that same level, that's steady. Okay, so I like to see that. And it seemed like I did pretty good overall. It was just the weekend of this week where I started to miss some habits. And then the last week of April, I got an A where I completed basically all of my goals, and I just had to make sure I prioritize my morning routine. I have not calculated my grade for this past week up until from April, 27th through May 2nd. Haven't calculated that grade yet, but hopefully I'll put it on the screen. And that it's not below a C because I'm not feeling optimistic about it. This past week was not well rested, so we'll see. When I look at those habits one by one, I can also look at those grades. So while I have a grade for the week, I don't know how well I did for that specific habit, for each specific habit the whole month. So I then also break it down habit to habit to make sure that I am sticking to the goals that I said I'm trying to track. So when I look at each of those, for my 10,000 steps, I got it 29 out of 30 days, giving me 96% of the time meeting my 10K step goal. Awesome. And then we have for strength training, there were 22 days I wanted to work out this month because I don't lift on the weekends, and I lifted 18 out of those 22 days, giving me an 82% for working out. So a B effort for hitting my lifting goals. I love that. Then we have my protein goal. I met that goal 16 out of 30 days, giving me 53%. So a little over half the time I'm in my protein goal. Okay. All right. We have 7 hours sleep, 20 out of 30 days. Period. Too late? Too late out. Period. Giving me 67%. So I love. Awesome. As far as meeting my water goal, I met it 19 out of 30, so 1 day less than sleep. And that gives me a 63% for meeting my sleep goal. So above half, but not still like where it needs to be, okay? Reading, I only read, like I said, 5 days out of 30, giving me 16%. And then I did do better about my lymph drainage. So that's the same score as my sleep, giving me 67%. And when I add all of these averages and divide by the number of habits, my grade for my April habit adherence is a 63%. All right, that is a D. Before I say how I feel about that, let's compare it to last month to see if there was improvement, right? Okay, so looking at last month, my step goal improved by 40%. My training goal improved by 20%, nearly. My protein goal decreased by 8%. Okay. My sleep goal increased by double. My sleep percentage increased by double. My water intake increased by 20%. My reading habit decreased 3%. My gua sha routine habit increased 2%. And overall, my percentage improved, what, 14%? I'll take that. That's a major improvement on my walking, my training, my sleeping, my water, my morning routine. But my continued areas of improvement continue to be that protein goal and building a daily reading habit. I'm still just figuring out where to put it, and I like it in the morning or at night. It's just about actually doing the morning or night routine. But we're getting better, I swear, I swear. So yeah, I'm really happy with those results. I improved from the previous month, and my weight is back where it was pre-major grief, and I feel ready to move forward with making these grades even better. Here's hoping to having a B for May. There's going to be a lot of traveling this month, but I'm so optimistic that I can make it happen. So we'll see. Okay, it is 3 o'clock and my potatoes are nearly done. I need to go to the store to get that missing ingredient, and I need to get in my 10K steps because I'm pretty sure I'm only at like 1,000. So I'm gonna go for my walk. Thanks to that walk, I am now at 13,825 steps. So hell yeah for the 10K step challenge. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So when I'm talking about my steps, let's actually do April fitness review. So I'm still going to be recording individual recomp diaries, but I would like to check in on how it's going in as many videos as possible, since my fitness is a genuine part of my day-to-day life. So when I do these resets, it's important to me to like also review how well I stuck to my health and wellness goals. Like habits are one thing, goals and projects are another, feelings are one thing, as are like my bodily measurements. So I intake how many hours I slept, how many calories I eat, how many calories I burn, the amount of protein, carbs, and water I'm intaking, and my steps. And then I also weigh myself once a week, and sometimes I do my measurements, sometimes I don't. So by logging these things, I have data of several months now where I can make correlations and do all kinds of analysis to see how my behavior is impacting my outcomes, specifically my weight and my waist. I am trying to lose 8 inches off my waist, which I believe also equates to about 20 pounds. And so that's my end of year goal that I am looking for. And so by being this honest and aware of myself, logging these things every single day, I'm staying cognizant of like, am I overreaching my calorie goal? You know, am I not getting enough steps? Like, am I moving more or less each week? And if my weight is going down when that happens, if it goes up when that happens, that is informing me of something about my body and how it's responding. So that's how I am doing it. Of course, always disclaimer that these are metrics for my body. I have been on this weight loss journey for 6 years now, so I have much data, and all of my numbers are based off my personal experience, my PCOS, my personal goals, and like how fast or slow I want to lose the weight. Like, if you're also tracking, your numbers probably don't need to look like mine. Please see a nutritionist. All that being said, I want to give my April analytics because I've learned from them, and it has shaped what I bought for my groceries in May and what I'm going to cook and all of that. So I have a chart that shows me my summary for April each week, and let me pull it up so I can see how I did for each week of April, and then I can also see how I did for April as a total. So when I look at each column here, so looking at my April summary, I can see how my sleep average changed week to week. It was 6, and then it was 8, and then it went down to 7, and then went back up to 8, and now it's back down at 6, giving me a total average of about 7 hours of sleep in April on average. And then as far as my calorie intake, it held steady except for week 4 where I ate the most, giving me an average of about 1,500 calories, 1,550, and that is below my calorie maintenance goal, my calorie deficit goal. So that means I am within 1,500 to 1,600. Calories out is equivalent most weeks, and so that's good. My protein average is ideally above 100, but it ideally would be above 100, but it's currently 97, and it follows the same pattern with my sleep. Low sleep, low protein, high sleep, high protein on weeks 2 and 4, and then the others. So that's interesting. Is there a similar pattern with carbs? I don't see that, but I ate a little over my carb goal for the month, and my steps were awesome. So in order to learn from that, I also like to compare it to the previous month, like I did with my previous set, to see how well I did. And last month my average was 6. This month it was 7. Last month my intake was higher than what I had on average this month, so I ate a little less. I moved more, about 200 calories worth more, and that's definitely, you can see that also my steps went up this month on average. My deficit went up. I ate less protein, but also less carbs, but I ate less overall. So I'm pretty happy with this outcome. That means that I slept more, I burned more calories, I took more steps. These are all positive things that are aiming in my body recomp goal. And I ate less food overall, but I also ate less protein and less carbs. And it does matter what you eat, so I want to make sure I'm up, keeping that protein goal up and maintaining my carb goal, because carbs are not the enemy, but there is like a limit. And as far as my output, I would like to maintain, like I would like to see that number stay the same for most of the months and see how that impacts me. So yeah, I'm happy to look over this and see that I am doing better this month than I was last month. And I feel like I feel better. I can see it in my face. I feel it in my energy. And I just need to get my sleep back together because my grade for this last week, I calculated it on my walk and it was an F. I went from an A to an F in this past week, and it's mostly due to my sleep. So that is what it is. But yeah, that's my April. My April fitness review. In May, I'm hoping to have at least the same numbers or above as far as like my sleep, my steps, my protein. So amen. Okay, now I need to shower, cook my dinner / the dinner for the week, and then we'll get into the May reset. So I already got my steps, so I'm just checking my reset routine checklist to make sure that I am my reset for the week. Okay, halfway there. Let's do it. Now the question is, should I actually change my hair or leave it weird like this? All right, friends, I am now in my evening wear. It is late. I finished my dinner. It was delicious. Oh, I just realized something here is incorrect. I finished my dinner and now we can do the Notion check-in and setup. I think honestly I've got most of it set up already, but I want to take you through it all. I've updated a lot of it so far, mostly, and I just want to show everything to you since the last video of the Q2 reset. So let's not waste any time and get into it. I'm going to screen record. So we're on the 2025 goals page. If you're new here, I initially bought this major template from Flourish Planner, and then I've customized it, added new pages, linked new pages, etc. But this foundational template couldn't be done without her, so definitely check her out. And here we have each goal. So I have it sorted by deadline, and that way I can see what's going on. My major goal right now is finishing my falsification paper, and so I have listed in here all of the tasks that I can think of to get it done by that date. And then I have my projects easily there, and then also it shows you what you've completed. So that's a scientific goal. I'm also going to SMB 2025, and so in case there's anything there, I have a paper I'm trying to write about modeling, so I've updated the task in there. And so these tasks will show up on my weekly planner, and so the tasks that are listed in there show up on my home page. So when I open Notion on my phone, I have tasks that show up immediately for today, and then also on my weekly planner it shows all the tasks for this week. And so I've done all of today's tasks. So that's my major overview of my 2025 goals. My current ones have to do mostly with work and with fitness. When I go to my yearly goals breakdown, I can see that for April I said I needed PTO vacation. I used that mostly for my niece's funeral, so I guess. And then the diversity supplement is no longer a real thing, so I probably should have changed that. I also got rejected from iCERM, so I have to change that to something else. Professional goal for May. What professional goal? Okay. Finish draft number 2. I just want to get new tattoos. I kind of got those, and I got those new tattoos in March when my niece died, so that can be moved. But I don't think I'm going to have that road trip in May. That'll likely be a later in the year thing. So where could we move this to? Unclear. What is my primary personal goal of get passport? Great. June is more so, maybe I could do my hiking trip here. Maybe. Okay. What we have here in the middle is my total 2025 vision board. Having my nails done, hair done, working out, growing on YouTube, being real cute and studious. That's that. And then if I go down, I can check these. I haven't been hitting every Monday, because of life, but I have been posting every single week, so I will get back to that eventually. And so that's my yearly goals breakdown. When I think about quarter two, what I listed in my quarter two reset is that I'm submitting this paper. I'm trying to outline my second paper. I'm doing this 10K challenge for most of April, May, and June. I need my passport. I want to post a video every single week. I want to post paid options on either my YouTube memberships or my Substack memberships at least in quarter two, like in the 3 months total, at least 5 times. And then also to finish reading the trilogy I'm reading. So those are my quarterly goals. We already went over April, so I've set this up for the month of May here. So for May, my focus goals are my paper, the 10K step challenge, completing the daily column. I haven't even done it for today. Posting 4 videos on YouTube. I actually have already recorded the study vlog. I'm recording the May reset right now. I've already recorded the week in my life, and so this will be, oh, so I think I changed this to my 10K step review. That will be filmed this week. And so those are things I want to be able to check off by the end of May. And I also want my grade to be a 75. My grade this past month was a 63, which was up as we saw, but I want it to continue to move up. I'm currently reading The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau, unclear. I'm still on book 1 and I am on page 154 out of 340. So about 200 pages left. Word. And then we have here my May vision board. So on here, there's a lot of studious things. There's someone studying inside, someone studying outside. There's a desk photo. There's someone at a chalkboard. So a lot of studying this month. There's a lot of fitness things. Someone prepping to walk, someone in the gym, someone in the mirror, different lock hairstyles. I'm really motivated for braids and twists right now. So that's what's on here, and always my curls. And then we have healthy food like salmon and steak and eggs and things to remind me to get moving. And then I also have like the puzzle on here to remind myself to stay playful. So like looking at this makes you want to either work out or go outside or do my work outside, and that's exactly the kind of vibe I need right now to stay productive. So I'm loving that. And then down here I also have it to where I can see everything I'm filming this month. So I'm filming this reset right now. This week I'm filming my 10,000 steps review. Next week I'm filming the 2 videos, my walking kit guide and my Ph.D. day in the life. And then I want to do some weekly vlogs because I have been enjoying those. So that's what I plan on recording this month. And so that's my total monthly goals. So now we're on the weekly planner. So this is where I open my most used page. I have here at the top quick links to my go-to pages. I always have the photo of whatever is being filmed next so that I keep my mind in that mindset. So the next video I'm filming is about my 10,000 steps. And so this gives outside walking, I hope, and so that's what I'm going to do. That's what that video is about. And then I always have my to-do list of a running task list, and then I have the tasks that are assigned to this week. So ideally I would edit my Ph.D. day tomorrow, the video that I want to post this week. I need to do some writing this week and I need to film that video because now I think we can get into the calendar. So I have those in a calendar view for the week, and then I also have them in a full calendar view down here. So I've actually already updated this fully. So based on those goals I said, it has tasks, and then those are put up on this calendar. So again, the Flourish Planner setup, amazing. And my current approach is I normally do the same kind of tags on the same day. So tomorrow I want to do a lot of grant related work. And then on Tuesday I want to do a lot of my paper related work. And then on Wednesday I am doing some Live with Quinn work and some paper related work. And then Thursday and Friday and Saturday I am using PTO. Thursday, Friday, and the following Monday I'm using PTO because of my grandmother's funeral this month. So my grandmother passed away and my great grandmother passed away on April 29th, and so her funeral is May 9th, so I'll be leaving here on the 8th. So the morning of the 8th before I leave, I'll edit, and then I'll drive to go there. And then also I have plans on the 17th of this month. My nephew's first birthday party will be that weekend, and so I'll be leaving here on that Friday and be gone that weekend. And so I took off I think that Friday and that Monday following, so the 16th and the 19th. So I've taken some PTO for this month, and I've also tried to rearrange realistically my to-do list. Like, if I have my filming calendar, I also have to put in here when I'm going to edit. So I am filming this video today, and I'm going to edit it on Thursday before I leave. I'm filming a video Wednesday. I'll edit it when I get back. And then when I get back, hopefully I'll be able to film my walking kit guide. And then I have like low, like things that don't take a lot of energy to do on that Monday when I get back. So I really try to think about it. And if I know I'm going to be busy on a certain day, like I have a lot of meetings or I have to go somewhere, I try not to put a lot of tasks on there. And then I also always have my recurring tasks. So every 2 weeks I have my days as a doctor. So that's already in here. Every 2 weeks I have my WPP community session. So that's always in here. And yeah, I have this pretty mapped out already, but it's also very easily editable. So like, say something changes, I can just move it to another day and it's not a big deal. So that's why I love being able to set it. And yeah, I have everything kind of in here: when I'm going to film, when I'm going to edit it, what I need to do for my work, what I need to do for my personal life. I love it, and that's why I haven't been making a lot of daily spreads in my bullet journal. And then we have here, again, everything that I am filming this month. So I always have a view of that. There's no thumbnail for the May reset because they come from stills of the video. So I can't make it beforehand, but everything else is generally made beforehand because that's how I know what I want to talk about. And so, yeah, that's my weekly planner update. May is pretty stacked on the days where there's more than 4 major tasks, because any task takes at least 2-3 hours. So when there's more than 3, I feel a little anxious. So I try not to go past that for any one day, but this week I gotta get a lot done before I leave. So that's that. And then I can go a bit more in depth with my content calendar. So I have many different ways I can view this calendar. I can view it by when I'm filming. I can view it by when I'm publishing based on the thumbnail. I can view it based on the calendar when I'm viewing it, or when I'm posting it, or when I'm filming it. I can see it listed out. I can see it based on the kind of videos, all fitness videos, all Ph.D. videos. I can see all kinds of things. And so I prefer, though, to see the thumbnails and the publishing dates. That's what I usually have it on. So the next video that's going to be posted is my study vlog, then this reset, then the weekly vlog, right? And then I have that when it's posted, so I know when it will be, but I can also switch to see when I'm filming what. So for what I'm filming this month, I'm filming this today. I can film one video before I go home, and then when I get back on Monday, I very well might need to move this to Tuesday, maybe it'll be Monday, whatever, but I can do both before I leave again, and then I'll be back and I can totally do a week in my life for those next 2 weeks because I won't be traveling. And so that's already decided, and I decide my videos months ahead, and then I switch them around. So I've already decided what I'll be filming in June and what I'll be filming in July. And because I've decided when I'm filming, that means I've also determined my posting schedule for over the summer. And so that's already determined, and I just really enjoy having it that way. I already know what I have to do. I don't have to think about it because it's predetermined. So I'm excited about what I am filming this month. If I go to filming view, I really enjoyed what I learned about myself with the 10K steps, and I'm continuing it. I want to talk about how I can encourage others to walk more in the easiest way to lose weight video. I am also currently trying to come up with more ways to talk about what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a day in the life, and I'm going to do a weekly routine of like what each of those projects are, figuring out ways to talk a bit more about them, like how I manage my projects. And then hopefully I will have been consistent enough in the gym for the past 4 weeks of the month to feel confident enough to record a week of workouts. I was going to record the week of workouts sometime before, and then I was like, no, I'm not feeling like confident enough to do a full week of me in the gym. So I moved it to the end of the month, and hopefully by then I'll have been consistent enough to feel confident doing it. So I'm excited to film those, and then at the end of the month I will do the reset on May 31st. So all predetermined based on my real life schedule. And yeah, that is my full Notion check-in, everything that I need to know about what I'm doing. Okay friend, I'm going to end the video here. It is basically 11 o'clock and I need to go ahead and clean up my home so I can try to get enough sleep and wake up to work out this week and just really keep moving forward. I'm really happy with what I've observed for April. Like, I don't know how it felt exactly, but there were more positives than negatives than previous months, and I'm getting back to a place where I feel consistent in my job and in my hobbies, in my body, and so I really just want to keep that up. I know there's going to be things happening, but I would really like to maintain the confident, consistent feeling I have right now. So that's my objective for May. And when I think about what I'm looking forward to, it's really just me celebrating my family by the celebration of life for my grandma, the celebration of my nephew's first year of life, that's celebrating my family and everything, and then also kind of celebrating my Ph.D. anniversary. My nephew's birthday is the same day as my Ph.D. anniversary, May 11th. It'll be a year since I became a doctor. Technically, my paperwork was signed May 16th, so which day should I celebrate? Graduation day or the like official day that I became a doctor? But yeah, either way, like my PhD anniversary is coming up. My lock anniversary is May 27th. I'll be 5 years locked on May 27th. And it's just a lot of celebrating my accomplishments with my hair, with my career. And I'm doing that by locking in, by recommitting myself to my work. So that's what I hope May has in store for me. But again, how it goes, you will see, obviously. And I'm going to just continue to try my best as I do every single day. It feels like May is going to be one of those months to test my work-life balance, if I'm able to maintain it while I'm trying to catch up and live life. Like I talked about in a previous video, how life is calling for more of me and I need to rise to the occasion. And I do feel called to rise to the occasion more now than before. So I'm very excited about that, very hopeful, optimistic, one could say, because really it's what I need. It's what I need to push myself to where I'm trying to go. So looking forward to May. I'm looking forward to May. Please comment below what your May goals are. How was your April? You looking forward to anything? Are you doing any challenges? Did you do the April challenge with me? Please let me know in this video or the next one. Like, please let me know. And I hope I see you somewhere on the internet very soon. Bye friend.